So, what team am I on? Am I on DC Universe or Marvel? Team Marvel. Hashtag. Sorry, I'm still recovering from my cold. I can't sniff so well. So I might sound high in this video, and yeah. So, anyways, Team Marvel or Team DC Comics? Well, you see, the thing is, right? I'm not all about, like movies and, all those TV shows and all them, things like that. I'm all about the how accurate the movie is and how accurate the TV series is. So, for example, how long will it take for Spider-Man to put his suit on and get bit by the spider? Or how long will it take for Bruce Wayne to put on the suit and become Batman and fight the Joker in one night? How long will it take? And how, comparing that to the comic books. Now, some comic books out there, they're, like way overrated. Like, Batman puts his suit on when Alfred dies and, Joker becomes the Batman and this and that. It's all plots and twists. The key word of the day is plots and twists. Now, in the Marvel universe, it's same thing. How much plots and twist, and how much are they in relation of the comic books? I'm all about the comic books. If the director, whoever it is, let's say the Russo brothers or Kevin Feige or something, if they read Avengers, if they read the Avengers comic book, and they extracted some ideas. So, for example, Thanos is gonna get, killed, and Adam Warlock, him, is gonna wear the Infinity Glove, or like that. How accurate will be the film, in relation, like location wise? How like any comic book moments on there. Now, every time when I go watch a film, right, I always say I always point, and I always say that is a comic book movie, or that's a comic book movie, or that's a comic book movie. Comic book moment there. Well, not movie. Comic book movie. It's like this, really. Is it a comic book moment when, like something really, really cool happens? Like, for example, Doctor Strange, it took him a long time to, like get on the filming, the filming shizzle, the filming jig, and now he's finally on. Doctor Strange came out a while ago, and now he's finally on. Now, in my point of view, Doctor Strange has a lot of, a lot of involvement with every Marvel superhero, whether it's from the Fox side or when it's from the Marvel side. Now, if the Fox side says, you know what, let's bring Doctor Strange to the Fox side for one or two, maybe three films, then possibly Marvel's Illuminati will be a thing, But it will be different actors, like a different Tony Stark, or a different Mr. Fantastic, or a different other people, or a Doctor Doom that's like more CGI kind of thing, or a Doctor Doom that actually looks like the comic books. Now, the thing is with Doctor Strange is that he has a lot of involvements. In some films he's a good guy, in some films he's a bad guy. Like Spider-Man, for example, in that film he actually becomes a really bad guy. But then at the end of like the episode, he finds out that Mary Jane is in like kind of like a trance by Mordo, I think, or Dormammu or something. And then Spider-Man turns to Doctor Strange and he's like, I want you to help me. I need you to help me. So they all team up. That's what I call a comic book moment, or like cartoonic moment. If the directors out there, if they adopted the way the comic book is, or the TV series or the animated series, then that's what I call an animated series moment or a comic book moment. Now, the same thing with the DC comics, like, is it actually a comic book movie? So, with DC Comics, right? Sorry, I had to break there and do some things like that. By the way, I'm actually using the new Apple iPhone's newest app called Clips. So it's very easy now to make a video and all that. Now the only downside is I've got my phone, so it's like this. If I had it like this, then you'd probably see like this. But I think, side note by the way, I think if I was to go like this with my phone, so in other words, use it like when you're pointing at a camera or like that, the screen should change and it should things like that. Next update, please, Clips, Apple, listen up. Sorry about that. Now, where was I? Where was I? I was at the DC Comics side. Now, if the DC Comics side had an animated series moment, like from the Justice League series or Batman animated series moment where, Scarecrow, intoxifies Batman with his gas, and then, the famous saying, "I am the night," that kind of thing happened in real life. If Matt Reeves, director of the upcoming Batman film, did that moment, then everybody in the cinema will be up on their feet saying, "Oh, I remember that moment. That was from the animated series." Now, you see, there were many Bruce Waynes out there who played as there are many actors out there who played as Bruce Wayne. Now, a lot of people prefer the Christian Bale series of Batman. But in my opinion, I actually like the way if Christian Bale acted like Ben Affleck, like fearless and really, holy shit, I'm not going to touch him or anything like that, then that's what I call my kind of Bruce Wayne. I want Bruce Wayne to be more fearless and really, 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 really cool and all that. So I actually kind of like Ben Affleck's and all that. So the final question is, am I team DC Comics or am I team Marvel? Well, it depends really. If how accurate the director makes the comic book moment or the animated series moment. Or, for example, if something happens, if something that you saw in your childhood, or something that you read in the comic books moment, like, for example, Deadpool going up to Doctor Strange, saying that he's got something problem, and Doctor Strange says, "I'm not that kind of doctor, you idiot." If that actually happened, and if Deadpool had, a lot of involvement with all the series, comic book movies and comic book, characters, then that will be a really cool comic book moment. It's like this, really. If it's accurate to the comic book or the animated series, then I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. But if it's not accurate, then I'm just gonna say I hate Marvel. I hate Marvel how it is, how they, how the way they direct their films and all that, and I hate the way that they actually bring up the directors. Is this guy the right director for the movie? Like, for example, the guy who made Avengers 2, I believe, Avengers 1 and 2, is making, I don't know if I'm right, or I think it's Iron Man. I don't know, Kevin Feige. He's making a Batgirl series, so apparently it's going to be the New 52 series. Is he going to introduce, the way how Batgirl started, her origins? For example, how she became Batgirl, or how will there be a moment where Joker will kill. You know, Joker will make her disabled, and she becomes Oracle, and therefore like a like a crossover series with the Batman, Matt Reeves' Batman. It's like that really. Depends how accurate it is, then I'll go, yeah, alright, it's good. But if it's not that accurate and I don't like it, then I'm just gonna say fuck Marvel or fuck DC Comics. You know, and why don't you read the comic books more and everything like that? So, yeah, that's what I urge every single upcoming director to do is read the comic books more and see if you can see any really cool moments. Maybe copy them. Or if you want to make your own movie, or do it like you do it. At least add some comic book moments in that everyone will be like, it's like that. So yeah, I'm actually team meh. But if I end up seeing it like a movie, then I'll be like, yep, team Marvel it is, or team DC Comics it is. My current situation right now is actually leading towards team DC Comics, because the Justice League, the way the Justice League is forming up, is going to be so correct. In the next couple of movies, you're going to see Darkseid, and I cannot wait for Darkseid to become a real thing. So, holy crap, I'm just watching the live stream. And anyways, yeah, and also shout out to a streamer, a YouTuber by the name of Jade Jolie. She looks like Lara Croft, but she doesn't look. She doesn't deny it. She doesn't accept that my comment. Like the comment. She should be more honoured for me to say that, because I have a mind out there. If I see certain YouTubers or certain video game characters or certain, like actors or certain, like objects or certain things like that, I interpret them with the real life, and I'll be like, hey, look, it looks like Lara Croft, and the other guy will be like, yeah, she does look like Lara Croft, although she needs a little bit and more of a, and then where does she keep her guns, like that kind of thing. So shout out to Jade. You good, kid, you good. Keep up with your content, and yeah, upcoming changes to Twitch and YouTube and all that jazz. Oh yeah, you're gonna like it. You are going to like it. In fact, my next video will be talking about, upcoming changes. Oh, hello again. The very next day, right here, as you can see here, I'm just sat down watching a bit of...
what the fuck do we do here? I have 23 bullets and...
Watching a bit of Lyric. Really good Twitch streamer. Good content. Guy's amazing. Got really good emotes and stuff. Yeah, as I was saying, the whole DC Universe film and Marvel Studios film thing, I think, in my perspective, I think if the director did the research, or director, or Tori, I just made the word up. Tori means female director, or male director. It means male director. Anyways, if the directors do their research and they say, "Oh, I'm a big fan of," let's say, for example, Christopher Nolan was a big fan of, what's it called? What's his name? Something we haven't seen yet on TV. Like, for example, I don't know, give me something in the comments. Let's say if Christopher Nolan directed, God, who can he direct? That's a good question, really. Like, if he directed, let's say, someone we need. Let's say if Christopher Nolan directed Fantastic Four, right? and Fantastic Four in the being big news and all that. I don't know if you can see, but there is my side note. Anyways, so Fantastic Four recently come in the news saying that it's come to the Marvel Cinematic Universe or Marvel Studios or something like that. And it's like this. They need a director. Then weeks, maybe months later, Christopher Nolan becomes the director of Fantastic Four, right? And apparently that's his favorite, like kind of favorite comic series. So instead of him doing a film like blindly doing it, like he did with Dark Knight, some things in the Dark Knight series, the Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and the Dark Knight Rises, I thought a little bit meh. Could do with more explanation. Like in the last one, The Dark Knight Rises, did Batman really fix the autopilot? If he would have fixed the autopilot, there should have been a scene where Superman, Henry Cavill, comes in and rescues him and and ends up and then him being disappeared and all that. He ends up being disappeared, and then the whole film just stops, and then years later Ben Affleck as Batman comes in and he's like, oh, I am, he's more older, and he's like really still being Batman, and you see his suit being on and all that. He has a fight with the Joker, and has a nice little history with Robin. Robin being, I don't know, Robin being, let's see, who can be Robin? Chris Pine as Robin. Chris Pine, the guy who was in Wonder Woman. I don't know is that Chris Pine? Am I thinking someone else? The guy who's apparently in love with Diana Prince in Wonder Woman. Anyways, so let's say if he made the Fantastic Four, and he did it, and he said, I was always a huge fan of the Fantastic Four, and and I'm so glad that I've got the opportunity. How long will it take for the Fantastic Four to become Fantastic Four? Because some films out there, they take one movie or two movies or three movies, and then they become the superhero. For example, Batman Begins. He was Bruce Wayne at the start, Gotham kind of. It had a Gotham kind of TV series feel, and then later on in the film he became Batman by disappearing for a while, and then he ends up becoming the Bat, and then that took one film, whereas whereas I don't know who else can I think of, whereas I don't know it's give me a good film, guys. Whereas it took I don't know, maybe Superman to realize all in one film. Basically that really tells me that that's all rushed and all that. Rush me. Basically, I think they should take the time. With the films out there. I thought, here's my suggestion. Take your time when it comes to the making the superheroes. And when it becomes the time when he's when he's a human or already a mutant or a Kryptonian or whatever superhero that you're thinking of, at least display the human side, and add a little superpowered kind of tease or something like that. So for example, Man of Steel could have been better if he's shown more Clark Kent side. Or his Clark Kent displaying superpowers in his human form, and it's like that really. That's what I think. My opinions. It should take time. So for example, let's say Ghost Rider was announced in the next couple of years. How long will it take for Johnny Blaze to become the Ghost Rider, and will Johnny Blaze be Johnny Blaze, like show his like human form, like stunt rider and all that, or how long will it take for Cyborg to be Cyborg? Like what was his like past life all about? According to the comics. See, I want all the directors out there to like take the time with the research and do a really cool scene. Like for example, if let's say if who's the guy who's let's say Kevin Feige was to direct Spider-Man, and it's like, and this Spider-Man is now in the Marvel universe. Like, how long will it take for him to make the suit? How long will it take to for him to realize he's got his powers? Will he show his powers while he was ordinary Peter Parker? And not only that, will there be any cool scenes, like for example, Spider-Man meeting Doctor Strange for the very first time, Mary Jane getting married, or like a Hydro Man, or Venom and Carnage, and like the Sinister Six, or Harry Osborn era, and like a little teaser of what would it be like if the X-Men came in, like Wolverine, a different version of Wolverine came into the Spider-Man era, like you've seen in the animated series. It came on, I think, about 92, 3, 4, or 5. I don't know, you guys can correct me in the comments below. But this is like a Marvel rant stroke. Whose side am I on? I'm only... Sorry, I had to do something with my arm. My arm was hurting. I'm only on the good side. I'm only on the director's side if they do the research. Because the other day I watched Guardians 2 the other day, and it took them this long to introduce the who was Star-Lord's father, Ego. Spoilers. So I was thinking, yeah, they did that. They did right, like taking that long. Introducing Star-Lord's father, and now they're taking the time to introduce the Infinity Stones or Infinity Gems. Now it'll take very long, like a long time for Adam Warlock him to be in the series. Then you're gonna see some scenes with the Infinite Gauntlet. Then you're gonna see a lot of scenes with Thanos. And that's how you say it in the English, in the British accent. Thanos. How do you say Thanos? Americans, Australians, Asian people around the world. How do you say Thanos? The guy with the purple skin, big top shop guy who eventually gets killed by, I don't know, some people and all that. We'll have to wait till see if Infinity War is actually really good. Now, with Infinity War, it's basically like everyone gets together, and then you're going to see new additions like Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, something like that. And, a nice little tease of what would happen if the Guardians of the Galaxy had a fight with, the Avengers, things like that. Doctor Strange being more involved, like cool stuff. Thor being the different Thor, like, shortcut hair, lost his arm kind of thing, spoiler alert. Things like that, really. I just really, it gives me like a little triggered feeling when it comes to films like that. If tomorrow Blade came out and, the director says we're not going to hire Wesley Snipes, then a lot of people are going to get angry because everyone preferred him as Blade because he was perfect. He had the martial arts skills and he had all the really cool things like that. And not only that, the film was R-rated. In fact, right after this movie, I'm gonna watch Blade on my PS4, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it because I felt like it, sad that PS Store does not have Blade 2 and Blade Trinity. Very sad. And a lot of people out there think that Deadpool came out and it's R-rated. Hello, did they not see Blade when it came out, when it released a while ago? This was like 2000 year, 2000. In my opinion, Blade was like the phase 3 of phase 3 of like Fox's like Marvel side. So yeah, I'm team director, do the research and make the film accurate to a comic book's point of view. And speaking of another thing I need to tell you about, like for example, plot twists, like I don't know, gay superheroes or gay people, gay people like that and all that. People who do this LGBT or something like that. I think it's a really good direct, approach to the Marvel series. I think things should be changed. Like characters should have a change. Like, I don't know, an African Iron Man or a Muslim, Miss Marvel or like things like that. I think it's actually a really cool idea for people to do that. But really, I think it's in one part of the mind. I think it's like far-fetched, lol. So it's like kind of a different twist. Like what would happen if we all know that Batman does not kill people. We all know that Batman does not kill people, but due to a recent Batman film, Batman vs Superman, we all saw that Batman kills people now. That's a nice little twist for you. Like that's something that we've never seen before. Such as Batman vs Superman, who would win, and Batman won by putting getting a little bit of kryptonite out and and ends up killing. Well, Doomsday kills Superman. But yeah, we all know that because it's all in the comics. And the guy who made that film, I can't remember who made them. Who made Batman vs Superman? I don't know. But yeah, it's another thing that we've never seen before. There are certain comics out there that directors might think it's far-fetched and it's like really, really complicated to understand. At least you should be able to try it. Like, if you try it, I don't know, why I'm tilting my head right there? Because you see the wire behind me right there. It feels like it's coming out of my brain. Or it's coming to my brain, so it looks like I'm the aerial gives a really distinctive look. By the way, this shelf right here is basically my PlayStation camera and my controllers and stuff. As you can see here, I've got the PS4 and the other thing, Xbox One. So yeah, I may be I may be a video gamer sometimes, but I am actually a movie guy because I've seen quite a lot of movies in my life. And yeah, it was like some films do trigger me, like the way they actually act. Like a lot of people, even today, you might think Deadpool is the greatest movie ever. I think Deadpool is okay, but a lot of people think it's R-rated. But you guys never saw that Blade came out a while ago, so I'm like kind of thinking, why release Blade? Why release Deadpool 2 and say it's first ever rated R movie when the Blade came out a while ago, and that showed a lot of blood and gore and stuff, and scary stuff. So technically, I'm more of saying that Blade won the competition, but Deadpool 2 is going to be really good. Apparently, Josh Brolin, the guy who's going to play Thanos, he's going to be playing Cable, and it's gonna have an X-Force kind of thing, Wonder how long they'll take to research that and everything. And apparently, if now that Hugh Jackman is done with Wolverine in the Fox's side and all that, if Marvel end up doing an X-Men series, he'll be back for X-Men. He'll be back for Wolverine. So you might see films like Avengers versus X-Men, or the X-Men come into Spider-Man. It's basically the whole Fox and Marvel thing. It's like a separate kind of universe. Fox tells a different story, Marvel tells a different story, blah de blah de blah, and it's like, sorry, I got a cold and everything. And it's like that really. So yeah, nice little 17. Let's make it 20-minute rant of whose side am I on. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you like the rant of I'm on. If you guys got any comments below, like what would you do if you was a director, and what was your favorite, what was your favorite movie, and yeah, that kind of cool stuff. That was a rant, by the way. So if you got here really, really far away to this point right now, I'm basically team director do the research, or hashtag director do the research before you do the film. Then you probably get somewhere. But in other words, this has been a nice little comic book related that rant. I'm watching some Twitch right now, and yeah, tune in for the next rant. Or maybe, I might watch a film. I might do more things like this. But if you got here to right here at the right point, then you are awesome. You are awesome. I hope you have your own comments and all that, things like that. I like to read the comments below. Very, very big side note that my nose is blocked right now, and my ears are like closing off because of my cold that I've got. So I've got like a huge cold. It's took me like 8 months to be exact to heal, and I'm feeling sick and down and depressed and shit like that. I feel shit basically because of personal stuff. So I haven't been YouTubing or Twitching much. So yeah, and when I do YouTube and Twitch much, everyone freaks out and it's like, oh, he's back. He's doing YouTube videos, which, by the way, tomorrow is going to be another video. So if you watch this video right now, clicked it on all the way to 2017 mark. That's when I stop.